minutes and I'm starting it. This is live.
Okay.
Maybe.
It says
live. Okay. So we have another minute and stop broadcast. It says live. Okay. And I'm going to go over to, what is it I'm hearing?
I have no idea.
I don't know what I'm hearing either.
I don't hear anything.
Oh, I hear me talking.
Okay, I see you. I see you.
Okay. This is what I want.
Both sides.
There we go. Podcast, it says live. Okay. And I'm going to go over to,
Okay,
what is it I'm hearing?
I don't know, but the voice, the sound is really bad on.
I know. I'm trying to fix it. Okay, I'm trying to fix it. Okay. I don't hear anything. Oh, I hear me talking.
I see you.
Okay.
Both sides.
I don't. Wait a minute. Shit. Let me do this. This. Out. This.
Okay, so all of that is stuff that you've already said. I don't understand why we were hearing that.
I don't know. Okay. Okay.
It's quiet though.
Okay, there we go. I was deleting stuff, and now I'm going to go actually find, copy, open up another window.
I'm on YouTube, so the chat is open.
Oh, okay. Okay. Hey, everybody. Hi, it's 7:01 Eastern Time, which means it's time for the RV Women Hangout. And I am one of your hosts. I'm V, and I'm also known as RV Lady. And the other host is Nana's Joy. Say a word, Nana's Joy.
Hi, everybody.
There
Welcome aboard.
That's Nana's Joy. And what Nana's Joy does is she pays attention to the comments that are over on the side of the screen, the video screen. And any questions or whatnot that you have, you can type them in, or if you would prefer, you can actually come on to the video and share your question and then, bounce back off and go over to the comments. Let me go for a second here. And I want to open up a new window. Show as tab. I don't know how to do that. Oh, God, remember when computers were supposed to make our lives wonderful? They lied. They lied. New window. There we go. So I did have an idea for the RV Women Hangout today. Does anybody remember what it is?
No, didn't you write it down?
Oh, free things to do when you arrive at your destination. That was the thing that I had come up with, because I think that there are a lot of opportunities for us to enjoy areas that we get to that we don't necessarily do because we simply don't know how to find that information. And so, and I know that I've been to a lot of places, and I find things by happenstance instead of actually looking for or planning ahead to see or do something that you want to do. Like my most recent trip to the Outer Banks, I had no intention actually of going and seeing the lighthouse. and I didn't go in. That's like a million heart attack steps there. So no, I was not going up, but I did, and I shot a video about looking up into the lighthouse. But had it not been with me, I would have seen it from afar and said, yeah, that's a lighthouse, and just kept on going. the other thing is that um, there are things like I went to the Wright Brothers Kitty Hawk landing site, or I guess launch site, and it only costs $10 to get in, and you can drive through a lot of it. And it was really, really fascinating as far as I was concerned. But I did intend on going there. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to go to the Outer Banks, was to see the Kitty Hawk thing. And I
Do
liked
you
it.
do you look those up on your computer when you get in the area?
Well, for the Outer Banks trip, because I had so much time to actually prepare for that, I knew, one of the things that I wanted to go and do was to go to Devil's Hill and, Kitty Hawk and the whole deal. So yeah, I looked it up before. I don't remember if it said how much it cost to get in, but it's one of those things that, yeah, I don't care how much it costs. I'm paying it because I want to go. So, it was $10 per adult, and then, okay, I have no idea how much the kids cost. But there was a school bus ahead of us, and then by the time we got done walking around the facility, the airstrip and whatnot, there were more buses unloading kids, with kids, high school or grade school kids. And it was nice because I could have Zip with me to walk around. It was also nice having the RV there because, okay, yeah, public restrooms, no. And plus, they weren't selling any food there because their actual museum was under construction. And so I don't know if they typically sell food or drinks or anything there, but they weren't that day. There were no food or drinks to be had. So, and that might just be part of the gig, is that you go there and they probably don't want to pick up a lot of paper and trash that people leave. The other thing that I thought was really fascinating, and um, it was a sunny, bright day, and that sun was hot. It amazed me how many people were had kids with them, that the kids didn't have hats and protection against the sun. Um, I thought that was really interesting. Infants being carried. Yeah, it was weird. It was weird. And I mean, in California, that's, my daughter always wore a hat. And, I always had light um, fabric clothes for her to wear to keep her skin from being exposed to too much of the sun. Not to mention, I have no problem with whipping out an umbrella and putting it over my head.
Now, do you have a software that you particularly use to find these places out, or do you just Google things to see in such and such area?
Yeah, things to see in such and such an area. Um, because I knew that I wanted to go to Kitty Hawk, I just Googled Kitty Hawk. I just wanted to know, but I had already researched the Outer Banks, that whole strip, and that strip is like 90 miles long or something from tip to tip. But there were a lot of things that I wanted to see that I didn't get to see. And I would like to go back, quite frankly, after the tourist season's over. So after the kids go back to school, I'll probably go back in September, October, something like that. And then my plan is to leave here in November and head down to Mexico. But everything changes, so who the hell knows? I never know what I'm going to be doing. I just create it on the fly. But yeah, I mean, points of interest for a particular city or area is typically how I find out what it is that I want to do. But I'm real interested in historic things. A lot of people are interested in like restaurants, food oriented things. And no, I was never interested in that. And I want to say that thinking. Yeah, there was very limited internet out there on the Outer Banks. So where we actually camped, there was no internet. Um, when we got closer to a larger area, larger townish area, a tourist area, then the internet got better. But it was never more than 2 bars, you know, went from none to 2. So, and that wasn't on
Now,
my phone. That was on Linda's phone. 'Cause
now
my
what I
phone,
do, I find out what it is out there, and then I get on YouTube and I put that in, the things that I'm interested in, and then I watch the videos previously done and see how it's set up and how I want to see it and all that.
yeah, I did that as well. You know, I typed in Outer Banks and looked at videos. The I was really looking for the ferries that go from like the island to yet other islands in the chain. And the final island, which would be the furthest, the most further, the southern tip, is where the wild horses are. And so I really wanted to go there, but that was something like two or three ferries to go there. And unlike the ferry that I took in Texas, which was free, these were not free. I mean, they're free for passengers, but you pay to take your vehicle on. And I want to say that it was going to cost $150. And that might have been both ways, round trip, to take the RV.
You're in
Am I breaking up or are you?
you're in slow motion.
Okay. Am I breaking up or is Nana's Joy breaking up? Anybody? 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 Okay, I guess I gotta look at the comments. I'm not looking at the comments. When I do this, I do not ever look at the comments. I like free museums too. There are many free museums, and I try to go to as many as I can. Now, here in the area that I am in, there are a lot of museums, but they're dedicated to two things. They have two subjects, and those subjects are the Civil War, which is fabulous because that's history, and I like that. And then the other thing that they have is country music. Not a big fan. And I don't want to pick on the South when I say this, but yeah, I do not like country music. And I have been for the last week and a half working at Linda's egg farm, my neighbor, and the music that they play is country music. Okay. And it's all about guys singing about how much they love their women. And there's one song in particular that plays over and over again. Oh, length limit on the ferries. I didn't see one. Okay, now if you have a toad, they may make you disconnect your toad. But, you know, because I'm only dealing 26 feet for my RV and then just add 5 feet, so 31, 32 feet pulling the Suzuki. When I went across on the ferry in Texas, I didn't have to unhook. So I think it just depends. And those ferries run, and they have the schedule online. They run like every half an hour, and the pricing is there for each one of the ferries. Um, but what I was thinking was just taking the Suzuki over and going to see the wild horses because I really want to do that. But the Suzuki wasn't running well enough. And so, and my carburetor has been back ordered, but we won't even go there. And so I didn't want to take an unreliable vehicle. But the only place that you can see the horses are at the southern tip of the Outer Banks. And the interesting thing about that is you either have to walk quite the distance, apparently, or four-wheel drive. You can four-wheel drive, but you have to stop and get a permit, which are free, but you still have to get a permit. So, didn't do either of those things. I would like to do those things. But what was I talking about? I have no idea. What was I talking about before that? The museums. Oh yeah, country music. There is this song that they play over and over and over again, and it's something, I have no idea what the name of the song is, but basically it's this guy singing and to a child apparently, and nobody, and I quote, nobody will ever love you more than your mama, your God, and me. And I'm like, what? People abandon children all the time. Can you imagine some abandoned kid saying, oh, well, that's the most I expect out of, life is that my mama and daddy who have abandoned me, ours 32 and CRV probably a bit longer than your Suzuki. Yeah, you can go online if you're going to go there. Go online and see if they have any restrictions. I don't remember them I don't remember them having any. Now, you're also going to want to consider wait times because there's no like make an appointment, drive up and drive on. It's like go and get in line. And depending on how many people are there, that line could be very long. And they charge you by the axle. So if you're taking a towed and your RV, so that would be, two. Is that two? Two. I mean, 4 8. So that would be, whatever the rate is times 8 or something. Okay, math is not my skill. Unless you're talking millions of dollars, then suddenly I have skill. Hi, Brian. Welcome aboard. We're always interested in the male perspective, so it would be nice to know what men think about things. In a language we can understand, which is basically what the RV Women Hangout channel is about, is putting everything in a perspective that women can comprehend. And sometimes when men start talking about something, they talk in some technical terms, and my eyes glaze over, and I have no freaking idea what they're saying. Yeah, the eyes glazing over thing. Just like when I was a kid in Catholic school and they were talking math to me, my eyes just glazed over. But it's always good to check out your destination and look for free things. There are free concerts. The town that is about 35 miles from me, every weekend, country music, of course, has, and gospel, music, like in a building. They don't do it outdoors like what I'm used to in California. Anybody traveling in California on Friday nights at 4 o'clock in Southern California, you can go online and find, they call it Music in the Park. And it starts at like 4 or 5 o'clock. It's over by 8 or 9. And they have a band, doesn't cost anything, bring your own food. I think they have those food trucks that drive in and provide food. But most people bring a picnic and their kids and sometimes their dogs. And it's actually really fun. But that's kind of my point is, finding things that are free to do. There are a lot of museums that are free. There are a lot of stores, especially I've noticed this in North Carolina, where you go into these older established stores like the newspaper office here. He has items that are for sale that are hundreds of years old, from Civil War and before. And it's just really interesting to walk through and look at that stuff. If you're into country music, country music artists have been roaming the South forever. And there are a lot of places where you go in and big signed, big autographed. Oh, the other thing that's huge here is NASCAR. And there are actually a couple like major NASCAR drivers that live within 5 miles of me. And how do I know? Because I hear their engines. I hear nothing else. I hear twittering birds and, little things creeping around. And then all of a sudden, boom, boom, I hear these NASCAR engines revving up. And I'm sure most of them are at the races by now, but they probably have people at their houses. And I don't know, like, the names of the NASCAR drivers. And excuse me, I have been told. I just don't remember. Maybe Petty, Richard Petty. I don't know. Okay, so who has any questions, or would anybody like to add their way of finding things that are interesting to do? I know you guys know of other free opportunities that are out there. What I've noticed about the towns here in North Carolina is that they do provide free parking in their towns, which, okay, being familiar with California, there is no free parking. But there's a lot of free parking available to anybody who wants it. And I park the RV wherever, and it works out real well. Okay, who has a question and or comment?
Well, I been watching Nomadic Fanatic on his Route 66 traveling, and I've enjoyed it because he goes along the road and just sees something and stop. And sometimes it's an old gas station. He gets out, it's not functioning, but he goes through and shows you the old gas pumps and whatever. And sometimes it's a statue of some kind that was back, in the 50s and stuff. It's been quite interesting. I know a lot of people don't like him, but he's done a really good job on this Route 66.
He actually hits a lot of interesting points, and I think when he was going through Texas, didn't he hit or wherever the Cadillacs are that stick out of the ground?
Yes, that was part of this trip.
Yeah. Yeah, he does hit a lot of interesting points, and we won't go into whether or not I like his channel or not. I like people who show you things that you might want to go see.
Right.
To me, that's real fascinating. Route 66, everybody does that, at some time or another.
Yep.
There's really a long delay on the published side. Okay. Is there? Really? It just, yeah, like I would like to do Route 66 sometime. The street is kind of, the road itself, I understand, is not the best, but that's okay. I think that
he found a section of it they're actually repaving.
Yeah.
So that was impressive. He was glad to see that they weren't just letting it go, to heck.
Yeah. And actually, well, I don't know what part. I'm sure in California it's paved. And the reason for that is because there's so much money. $1 out of every gallon of gas goes to road improvements. And so the most obscure roads in California will be like perfectly paved and have like, those beautiful lines on them. And they probably see 10 cars a year. And it's because they charge so much for gasoline. It's $1 more per gallon than any other state. And that's for road improvement. So I'm okay with that. Oh, what is going on here? Okay. What is that? He found metal, wild buffalo, and a bug man. Oh. Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, not to give any more time to him, but I don't understand how he can exist without a toad. I don't know how anybody does. How they exist without having a toad. Um, you got to take your RV into town to get groceries or whatnot. That would make me
Yep.
crazy.
There's a lot
Um,
of them out there that are doing it.
yeah, I really don't get that. It was never even a concept to me that I was going to be taking my RV and parking it into a grocery store and blah 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 blah. Even
I
though
don't know.
I guess it's really doable.
I don't know if you watch Pandemonium. Aja used to tow, but she gave it up, and she's much happier without it. She says.
Yeah. Okay. And because it's on the internet, it must be the truth. I don't know.
Her opinion.
I mean, I don't see very many. Oh, no, I'm out of focus. No, I'm back in focus. I don't see a lot of YouTube contributors ever coming back and saying, oops, that was a bad idea. You know what I'm saying? I mean, sure, you see them getting stuck and stuff like that. But I don't ever see them coming back on and saying, you know, like, what is that stupid camera called? Hero, GoPro. Yeah. Like, I've made
Yeah,
so many videos on how much I hate GoPros. And I think I finally broke it. I'm so excited. Um,
I got disgusted with mine recently, and really and truly, you are correct. That is for action cameras
yeah,
only. I mean, you cannot zoom. They take panoramics beautifully, but you
yeah,
cannot zoom them.
no.
I was trying to video my grandson's induction into the Order of the Arrow, and I finally gave up and used my Nikon.
Yeah. Those cameras are so limited and the sound is so lousy. And it's because they're really designed as action cameras, something that you strap onto a helmet and ride a motorcycle with, or you strap it onto the, you know, bars of your bicycle and then, I don't know, run into the side of a mountain, or, or go down a cliff on your bike or whatever it is, or sailing or surfing, but it's not for making videos. I mean, videos where you actually want to interact with who's ever watching the video. So,
I
um,
like it for going down the road. I can hook that on my windshield and it'll do fine going down the road, but I'm not going to use it for showing you individual things
no,
anymore.
no, I don't use mine for that. And the other thing is that now, see, when I've tried to put mine so that, right up against the windshield or, close to the windshield to get road shots, the camera moves so much. And your suspension is probably better than mine, but I can't. I mean, without going out and buying a um, gimbal, which
Yeah,
I'm so not going to do. um, I can't get it to hold on because I shot a lot of road shots and then I look at them and they're just this, you know
yeah,
unless I'm stopped, and then they're really great. But no, I think that's and those little license plate cameras that you can get uh, are just as effective, I think, as a GoPro for that purpose of, cruising down the road, and they cost what, $50? Um,
yeah.
yeah. So to me, GoPro is just insanity. It's just why did I buy one? I bought one because so many RVers said, "Oh, what a great camera." Yeah, they lied. It's not a great camera
Yeah.
unless you are doing an action thing.
Right.
But I'm an old woman. I don't do action anything.
Oh,
Every
yeah, I was, yep. I was going to tell you when you said no one comes back and says, "Oh, I made a mistake." Camper van Kevin did. He took a motorcycle or scooter
Yeah,
and went out west. And when he came back, he bought a car
right.
and he's going to tow it.
Well, see, I didn't think that he bought a car for any other reason than comfort. You know, the motorcycle simply wasn't, or the scooter wasn't comfortable, practical. It wasn't practical. Because I thought and bought a scooter initially before I bought the Suzuki. And
Yeah,
it was just too much muscle work involved. You know, putting it on the carrier, taking it off the carrier, even though it was just rolling up and down. You know, I recognized that I had limitations, and plus my plans didn't include just staying in California where it doesn't rain. You know, my plan was to leave places, and so I'm thinking, okay, scooter, raining, road, slick, death, to go and buy a candy bar. So yeah, totally got rid of my scooter. I mean, after I think I had it for, I don't know, a week, and said no,
yeah.
and got rid of that. And then I bought the Suzuki, and the Suzuki is giving me problems. You know, it needs the carburetor replaced. Well, I cannot find an identifier on the carburetor that I have, so I have to buy a rebuilt carburetor. And which is like, you know, I could buy the 2 rebuild kits, which I'm about ready to do because they've back ordered my rebuilt carburetor. And so I'm about to just say, just send me the 2, cancel the rebuild. The rebuild was $100, and I want to say that the rebuilt carburetor was $100. The rebuild kits, there were 2 of them, and they were like $40 a piece. And so for $80, I'd save $20, and hopefully they wouldn't back order that. So that's probably what I'm going to end up doing because my patience is running really, really thin with them because I've been waiting for 2.5 weeks. And when you order something online, they really should say, there's a chance that we're going to back order this until the end of time. So, and they don't give you any indication of when they're getting it. So I don't remember back ordering being like that, but I don't really get that many things back ordered, so stay lucky. Let's see. I got gas in Delaware today, 209, then found it for 205. Now, see, in a car, I would never question 4 cents. In an RV, I might, if I'm on empty. Yeah. Okay, which I'm
Yeah.
never on empty. Okay, I was on empty once. Scared me. Um, Order of the Arrow, I remember those days. Congratulations. Yeah, congratulations to your grandson. That's cool.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else? Um,
I wanted to ask you, did you see Rufus and Doofus's video?
I saw that just before I brought us online. I watched his video. For those of you who don't know Rufus and Doofus, charming man and his dog travel around in what I think is a 34-foot Class A. Don't know the specific manufacturer, but he joined a group called WIN, WIN. And for people who don't know what that is, it is like a singles group that travels around. It's a membership. You can drop in and out whenever you want. And I can't remember. I did a video on. I talked to the owner of WIN and did a video on him, and he explained it really, really well. And there I go, and now I'm back. But WIN stands for something individual network. Wandering individuals network. But anyway, he joined that, and he was in Arizona, and he has had some health issues in the past, and his health issues have to do with blood clots in his legs. And so he had a blood clot in his leg that he simply didn't take care of. And there I go, and now I'm back. I'm using an external camera made by Microsoft. Yeah. And I don't know why it does that. I'm trying not to move. Desperately
Yeah.
trying not to move. But he lets his blood clot go too far, and I think what happened is that by the time they got to it, they had to disassemble so much of his leg veins to get it out. Nana Joy, what are you doing? I don't know what you're doing. Okay. Okay, now we're back. Okay, let's unmute Nana Joy. Okay, I probably really screwed up now. Oh, crap. So, can you hear me, Nana's Joy? No? Yes? You can. Okay. Okay, awesome. Okay, so anyway, he got this blood clot. He went in and had surgery. It was pretty extensive. He had to have skin grafts to repair some of the damage. I'm sure he lost a considerable amount of muscle. And apparently almost, or was looking at a possibility of amputation. Didn't happen though, and he has convalesced, and now he is in something less than a convalescent hospital. He's in like a rest home kind of place. I have no idea what they're called, but he has some physical therapy to go through there, and plus some basic healing that needs to take place as well. He is he looks good. He lost 50 pounds, if somewhere 50 pounds, excuse me, and is in this facility recouping. Now, in that, and it's been about maybe 3 months. So he lost 50 pounds in like 3 months. And his RV is, I don't know where. His dog is, I don't know where, nursing rehab. And I don't know what his plans are. I do know that he's supposed to have a Patron or Patreon account, but I was looking at that on his website and there was none. There is a PayPal that is there that offers no explanation for anything, which, do you really need one? No. But he's looking for donations. So he's looking at probably a pretty substantial medical bill from the hospital, nursing home, whatever, or both. And he's on Medicare, and he apparently does not have that Medicare backup plan supplemental. He apparently doesn't have a supplemental, and so Medicare picks up 80%, and he's responsible for the other 20. And so I think he indicated he's in the tens of thousands of dollars, and I'm not sure, exactly what to do about that. So, and he said in the video that Patron or Patreon or whatever it's called, that he was going to have one of those, but again, I didn't see it, but I did see a PayPal thing. I have every confidence that he isn't scamming anybody. He obviously took a hit over this, and could probably use a little assistance. I really believe that he's going to be months, a half a year away from recovery, and he had also, the other 20% can be seriously substantial. Yeah, if you're looking at $100,000, yeah, that's a lot of money. $20,000. So anyway, yeah, I don't know where his RV is parked, if he's paying for that. I don't know who's got his dog. Yeah, there are just a lot of unanswered questions, but he's real limited in strength right now, physical strength, to be able to even come close to, touching any of this. But the other thing to remember for those people who are looking at substantial medical bills is you can make arrangements with them to simply pay a small portion of whatever it is that you owe. And also for the people who are on Medicare, I understand you can pick up a supplement that you pay monthly, just like your Medicare payment. And it keeps you from catastrophic loss. But, and there's also other, depending on your income and blah, 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 there are probably other facilities that you can petition for assistance. I have no idea. But, it's all worth looking into, and it's definitely worth looking into before you actually need it. That's why we all have insurance, because when it all goes to hell in a handbasket, we're going to not want to be holding the handbasket. So, yeah, it's like me. I went down here to the local hospital for my poison oak and basically waited, I don't know, 2 hours so they could give me a steroid shot and give me a prescription for more steroids, which I will never take again because, oh my God. But that little visit cost my insurance companies, because I have two, roughly $2,800. And yeah, I had to pay like, I don't know, $5. I had there was some little nothing, amount of money that I had to pay. And then I got just the most obscure bill from, I have some, something that, I don't know, it just didn't really look real. And so, and they wanted me to send them $200 or $300. And so I got them on the phone and I said, no, I have a supplemental, just bill them. Well, we can't do that. I said, well, why don't you try harder? And I said, because they didn't have any problem paying for the hospital. And I said, why are you sending me a bill? And she said, because of the physician's assistant that saw you. And I said, well, fabulous. Should I be expecting something from the nurse too? No. I said, no. Bill the supplement or don't ever contact me again. Choose your choice, because I'm not writing you a check. I'm certainly not paying over the phone because I don't know who you are. And I said, I have never in my life gotten a separate bill from any other doctor other than an anesthesiologist. Yeah. It was like Wake Forest. That's what it said. Something about Wake Forest. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, everybody should pay attention to their insurance, because you really don't want to be figuring that out when you actually need it. You're going to want to figure that out way in advance. And for those people who travel, having some kind of travel insurance is a good idea as well. Now, when I go down to Mexico, I will have traveler's insurance along with Mexican medical insurance, along with Obviously, automobile insurance for Mexico. Um, the reason for that being in the event that, they're not putting a Band-Aid on a skinned knee, which of course I would never go for. In the event that it's something catastrophic, the traveler's insurance will send transport for you. So no matter where you are, they send a jet to get you and take you to the closest medical facility in the United States. So for me, that would be like Texas. And they got good hospitals there. I'm cool with that. But if it's something not life-threatening, then no, it doesn't really come in here. It might cover something. It might be like a secondary supplemental. I don't know. But the reason I get it is so if I need to be life flighted out, I can be. And there is a woman in Cabo San Lucas, I want to say. She had some kind of whatever mishap and no medical insurance for Mexico. And she has a $30,000 bill for a hospital in Cabo San Lucas, and they're detaining her until her family sends them the money. And I don't mean the hospital is detaining her. I'm saying the government of Mexico is detaining her, which means she's probably sitting in a jail cell. And, she is a mature woman like myself. So, when you're traveling anywhere, it's always best to know what your options are, what's covered, what's not, who accepts what, who doesn't accept what, how to get reimbursed if you do have to pay. All of those things should be done prior to you signing on and saying, oh yeah, I'll take that. It's just a prudent thing to do. And then you just tuck all that stuff away. You don't think about it for a year or whatever. It's kind of like my automobile insurance. I really don't think about it because it's automatically deducted each month, and I refuse to pay them by the year. I'm not going to let AAA have all of my money for that time. So yeah, they gave me the option of letting them deduct the $56 or whatever it is out of my account every month, and I said, yeah, let's go with that. It's probably costing me $30 more a year, but quite frankly, don't care. It's something I don't have to think about. And in California, if you do not have insurance on your vehicles, they yank your registration. And they know the moment you have made your last insurance payment, and that letter just shoots right out to you. And which means that if the police pull you over and you have no insurance in the state of California, they own your vehicle. And when I say that, I mean they impound it, and then if you don't go and get it, then they sell it at public auction. And when they impound a car when they impound a vehicle of any kind in the state of California, you're not getting it out for less than $800. Yeah, not a good thing. So let's see, where are we in time? Oh, we've got time. Anybody have anything else that they wish to add? How many people are watching this? And let's take a moment here and say, hey, is there a better day that we would rather do this on? Is there? Is whatever day this is, Thursday, is this just no? Is this just not a good day? Because I see we have 21 viewers, which is fine. I have no problem with that. But, the more viewers we have, the more interaction. And someday, some of you are going to be brave enough to say, I want to be on the video. I want to interact with RV Lady. But so far, no takers. I got no takers. I got people who are uncomfortable. And I get it. They are uncomfortable being on camera. And I understand that. But what's really interesting about being on camera is once you've done it 5 times, yeah, you're over it. You don't care what your hair looks like. You don't care if you have lipstick on. You just don't care. And as you can tell, You know, I came back from collecting eggs, and I'm out and back in. I came home from collecting eggs, which I got home about, I don't know, 2:15, 2:30. And then I started cleaning the house and the outside area. And of course, it started raining. But here in North Carolina, my neighbor, who's just been such a pleasure to know and have as a friend, um, her birthday is on Sunday. And so I'm throwing her a party on Saturday evening and just inviting, it's going to be like maybe 10 people. And, I have to prepare. I would like it to be an outdoor thing, but it rains here. So I have to prepare for that element and be able to move everything indoors. But, bonfire, we're going to do foods and whatnot. I just stumbled on this. I'll be on the road in fall. Oh, I'm in North Carolina too. Hi all. Hi Dawn. Yeah. Life on the road is really great. I really miss it. Being here, being stationary, even though I get to live in my RV, which is very reminds me of when I fell off patches and broke my arm and my shoulder. I still lived in the RV. Okay, in my driveway, but lived in the RV. And I miss being on the road. I really do. When I went out to the Outer Banks, it was just like heaven. It was heaven. So Dawn, you're getting ready to go on the road in the fall. Where are you going? Where's your first stop? Is it like 20 miles down the road? A lot of people do that. And you should take a test run, just to find out what's going to go wrong. Because it's all going to go wrong. There are times when it's just a cavalcade of things going wrong. But so where are you going to go? I'm excited about that. I'm envious. Now, see, I will be leaving come November. And even if I don't end up going to Mexico, you're going to Denver in the fall? It snows there. It snows there a lot. The first time I was ever going, I was actually going to Vail to go skiing. And I got to Santa Fe, New Mexico, then Quartzsite in spring, doing my thesis on solo RV women. Oh, yes. I full-timed 8 years ago. It's like the best. When you found a farm on Craigslist, which words did you use? Real estate. I just, oh yeah, it is the best. I don't know why anybody, it, it always amazes me when RVers stop and they say, I'm not going to do this anymore. It's always like, why? And they go and move into like a brick and mortar situation and do that. And I would think their heart would just break. It would be like being in prison to me. There would be no difference. Having to, because, I don't live in this house, I live in my RV. If I had to live here, it would be like being in prison. The windows are small, it's very confining, not to mention incredibly dark. Yeah. So you're doing your thesis on solo RVing women. Well, I'm a solar RVing woman. You could, put me in your thesis. I'd be immortal. Let's see what else. Yeah, John, just for your information, we do this every week, Thursday. I don't know that that's like the greatest day, but I haven't figured out which day is a great day. We figured sometime during the weekdays, because most people are looking for entertainment or whatnot. And on the weekends, they're busy in their RVs, hopefully. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they're just, thank you. Um, they would be hopefully out exploring, having a wonderful time in their RV. And then during the week, if they have jobs or whatnot, then, they got to do that. But yeah, I cannot go back to living in a building. Unless it was like a warehouse or a, airport hangar. And in the last couple of 3 weeks, I've been looking at it's gonna just die when you hear this. Missile silos. If you've never looked at missile silos, they're mostly in Nebraska and South Dakota. And, decommissioned where they used to have, the whatever missiles pointed at wherever. And not Area 51, but they sell them. They sell these silos, these missile silos, and then people convert them into underground living. They already have an air filter system, a water filter system, a sewage treatment facility. They have the big things, most of them, some of them, and I don't know if they all work, but there are some pretty impressive underground, and they're way underground. This is like way, way underground. This is for people who really think the world's going to come into an end, and for some reason they want to like live underground for what, 10 years, 5 years, a year? I don't know. I've been actually thinking about that, and if there was some kind of nuclear holocaust, something, North Korea becoming stupider than they are, and launching, and everybody launching back in retaliation, and it all becomes unlivable. Why would you want to live through that? Why would anybody want to live through that? But the other thing, there's 20 acres that's not far from here, and let's see. Wow, love it. I had only thought about on big doors. Oh, the other thing, that there's 20 acres that I'm going to pick up because they're not paying their sales taxes. Not their sales tax, their property taxes. So anyway, I'm going to pick it up for like next to nothing, but not the point. What I'm going to put on that, because I was thinking about structure, and I'm certainly not going to put like a mobile home. Yeah, not going to do that. They're made really crappy and they don't last very long, and blah, blah, blah. Cargo containers. Now, if you really want to see something awesome, look up cargo containers for living, or cargo container lifestyle, or build a house using cargo containers. And years ago, I considered doing this on yet another piece of property, but didn't do it, blah, blah, blah. And you can have a remanufacturer, cut out the holes and put in the doors and things like that you want. And they literally move it onto the property, and you can put it on, concrete blocks. You don't have to have a foundation. You can hang them over a cliff. And I saw a woman who's in Australia, and she did that. She owned like this funky little piece of property, triangular something, and it wasn't buildable. And she got cargo containers and literally hung the cargo container end off the cliff, and has a big window there. And they're beautiful, they're awesome and durable, and they lock up really well. Now, the one thing to know about cargo containers, which I discovered a long time ago, is they have wooden floors, beautiful wood, but wooden floors. And what they do with these wooden floors is they soak them in pesticides. And so, one of the first things that people have to do before they can even go in and work is do something about the floor. So they seal it and paint it or rip it out or whatever it is that they do. I have no idea. Cover it with linoleum or, wood or whatever, the fake wood stuff. And, but they're amazing. Some of them are enormous. They take 48-foot cargo containers, but talk about off subject, and we only have 1 more minute left. But I was thinking, I would get like 4 cargo containers, and this property already has all the utilities, and then have somebody, a remanufacturer, make it the way I want and then drop them off, and I would just put them together. Some people drop them in their backyards and make guest houses out of them. They're adorable. Go look them up. They're cool. So that is it for this week's RV Women Hangout, where, as usual, yacked my face off. And I'm really looking forward to people coming on the video and sharing their ideas, concepts, and answering some questions and just being part of the conversation. It's fun to be part of the conversation. But right now, the conversation includes, me. Not fun. Need more. Even though I appreciate the 21 viewers that did show up and everybody else who's going to watch later. I do appreciate you, but come on. It's really, once you get over the fact that you can see yourself, yeah, then it's just, we're just having a chat. We're just talking. That's all we're doing. It's just talking. So does anybody have any questions before I say adios to this week's RV Women Hangout 2.0? Okay, I'm taking that as a no. No, I'm kidding. I know there's a delay, so I have to wait a few minutes. And I'll just sit here and stare at you. Let's see. Oh, well, that's what the videos are about. And, okay, I'll get into that later. It's like something else that's like different, that YouTube is different doing that I just discovered. Okay. So next week, we're going to stick with Thursday unless somebody who is watching this video says, hey, let's do it on, okay, let's do it on Thursday. It doesn't matter. We used to do it on Sunday when it was just the RV Women Hangout before it was the RV Women Hangout 2.0. We used to do it on Sunday evenings. But, that was mildly difficult only because people were coming home from having RVing fun and I just had too much to do in order to really participate. So anyway, that's it. If anybody has a topic that they would like us to discuss for next week, just shoot me an email or whatever, or add a comment onto this, and I will do it, and or at least look into doing it. And that's it. Thank you. Thank you all for coming, and I'll see you next week. Now I'm typing. And don't forget, smile and be brave. Bye. Okay. Where do I go here? Yeah, I'm talking to myself now. Bye.